Hey everyone, Ben from Living Survival, and today I got a very cool and unique flashlight from Eagletac. This is their P25LC2 diffuser, so stick with me. Alright guys, so as I said, I have a very interesting and unique flashlight to bring you today. This is the P25LC2 from Eagletac. This is a new light for them, and the first thing you'll notice right off the bat is this diffuser on the front. Now what's cool about this diffuser is that it allows you to put the flashlight in several different modes. Spotlight mode, like a typical flashlight, but it also allows a flood mode, so you can essentially use this as sort of a fire torch or a candle, you know, in a camping or survival situation to kind of illuminate the area around you and not have so much spotlight, more of a floodlight. Now when I first received this flashlight, I didn't think I was going to like the twist head for adjustment, but what's actually really cool about that is you can set the adjustment before you even turn on the light. It does have a clicky tail cap on it, and it does also do momentary, so in that sense it's pretty similar to a lot of the other tactical style flashlights out there. But with this adjustable head, you can switch the brightness before you even turn the light on. Specs on this light are length of 4.9 inches. It's very light at only 1.9 ounces. It uses a Cree XM-L2U2 LED, very similar to some of the Phoenix and Nightcore lights that I've been showing you. It comes in a cool white or a neutral white. It pumps out a whopping 1150 lumens, and in addition to the main LED there, the light ring here has 19 individual smaller LEDs in an array that produce the flood. See if I can give you guys a close-up there. You can see the array of LEDs in there. As with most other tactical style flashlights, it is IPX8 waterproof. It'll take a little bit of abuse, and it's also made out of that aircraft aluminum similar to other models. It has a titanium coated pocket clip, and then also has a removable lanyard clip. This light runs off of one 18650 or two CR123s. There's actually a tube that you can put in there to hold the CR123s. Don't need the tube if you're just running on an 18650 like I do. On its max output, it'll run 1.5 hours, and then on its minimum output, it'll run for 200 plus hours. The reflector is put as deep as it possibly can in there to give you the most amount of throw out of the spotlight. And this ring around with the LED arrays is made out of shatterproof optical grade material. So it's very durable and produces a very nice light. And with the LED array technology built right in to this flood cap, you can get the floodlight without having to put add-on caps on there or adjusting the lens in and out. There's obviously several different modes to this flashlight. The tail cap simply serves as an on and off and momentary. You can just hold it down up with a half press, and that'll get you into the momentary there. And then by turning the adjustable head here, you can turn it all the way to tight, and that's going to give you the brightest light when you turn it on, or we can turn it and loosen it a little bit, and that will give you a lower light setting. Now you can see right now it's in the flood setting, so you can actually see that the main LED isn't on, and just this light ring is illuminated. So it gives you a very cool floodlight. You can set this in a room and it actually lights up the room as if it were a candle or a sort of fire torch. So I think that's really cool, and then you just turn the head to get to the brighter setting. So right now it's on the lowest setting. There actually is one lower setting, but we can tighten the head and it will go up to another level, and then we can tighten it even more and it'll go up to its brightest level. And you can see that it's still on the flood mode where the light on the inside, the main LED, isn't illuminated. So we can go back down to the lowest setting. Now if we quickly turn it to the next setting and then back down to the low setting, that will put us in sort of the lowest light setting that the light has. So we can turn it like that, and then you can see it goes down into its lowest sort of moonlight mode. So when you're on this lowest mode, if you turn the light off and then back on, it's actually going to go back into the lowest brightness level. It's not going to go back into that moonlight mode. You would have to twist it brighter and then dimmer to get back into that lowest mode. Now if we switch back up into the regular modes just by twisting the dial, you have your low, medium, and then back on to high. Now you might be wondering, how do we get it off this sort of flood mode and back into the regular torch mode? Well, it's pretty simple, and with anything it does take, you know, sort of a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get it down, it actually works really well. So we want to go all the way up to the brightest and then back down to the lowest, and that's going to switch our mode from this flood into a different mode of the flashlight. So we can go all the way back up to bright, and then we can go all the way back down, and now you can see that both the flood array and the center LED are both illuminated now. And then you have your 3 levels of brightness again. So we have our lowest, our mid, and then our high. And this high is super bright with the illumination of the outer ring and then the inner ring. Now there is one other mode on this, and we can go back down to the lowest setting, and then we want to go to the high and then to the low, and that will get us into the spotlight only mode. So you have essentially 3 different modes you can use this light in. Just with the flood ring, with both as I have it in now, or just with the center LED. Can kind of give you a better picture of it there. You can see that this outer ring is not illuminated, but the center ring is on its brightest setting. And again, if we turn the light off, it's going to come back on to whatever mode or to whatever brightness level you have it set, depending on where you have the front bezel adjusted. So if we want it all the way to the brightest, we just tighten it all the way, and that's going to come on to the brightest. If we want it a little bit less, we just give it a little bit of a half spin, and it will go into that lowest mode. And then of course, no matter what mode you're in, if we just go up 1 and down, it will go into sort of our little moonlight mode, and you can see that it's just the center. So if we want to switch back just from the spotlight mode back into using just the flood, we just go all the way up to the brightest and then back down, and you can see we're back into just the flood mode there, and the center ring turns off. So to change modes, you go from the lowest to the highest and then back down to the lowest, and that will swap between the outer ring, the combo, and then just the center LED. There's also a few other modes that we can do on this flashlight, and for that you start at the brightest, go down to the lowest, and then back to the brightest, and that will get us back, or that will get us into our strobe mode. So if we start here from the brightest, go down to the lowest, and then back up, you're gonna see here that it puts us into a strobe mode. And then we just twist the dial to get back out of it. So like I said, there's a little bit of a learning curve to it, but once you get the twist down, it's actually really simple. I mean, when I first got this light, I was thinking, oh no, it's a twist head. I haven't had very much luck with twist heads in the past, but this one is actually very user-friendly, and just like any other light, it's very easy once you figure out how to use it. I've actually been carrying this light around with me for about 2 weeks now, and I'm constantly using it. I just put it on that flood mode, and just around the house, I even use it in replace of lights. If I'm going into a room at night, I just take this on its flood mode, and it actually works really well, and I don't even have to turn on any lights, especially when walking around at night if other people are sleeping. So I can show you the differences between the flood and spot. You can see that it's on the flood mode right now. Just the LED arrays are on and the center LED isn't on, and it produces just that, a floodlight, which is great for just lighting up an area. Great for around the house at night, great for if you needed candles, if the power was out. It works sort of as a lantern, and of course we can go to the different brightness levels here, and you can see that it produces just a great floodlight. Now the next mode we can go to is the combination between the flood and the spot. If I go all the way high and then all the way low, we get to the spot. Now you can see that the flood is still on and the spot is still on. And then of course you have your different brightness levels all the way up to the brightest that the light will go, which is very bright. So we can turn it back down to low, and then we can go to spotlight only by going up to high and then back down to low. And you can see that this outer ring array of LEDs turned off, and right now we just have the center spotlight there. So that would be your typical flashlight mode that you're used to. And then of course we have the different brightness levels there too. If we want to go into the moonlight mode, we can just go one up and then down, and it will put it into the little moonlight mode. And the moonlight mode of course can be done on the spot. It can also be done on the combo, and then also done on the flood mode. So like I said, once you get used to it, it's very handy. Then of course you can turn it off and turn it back on, and it's going to come back to the same mode and whatever brightness you have the adjustment set at. So if I leave it at the highest brightness here, turn it off, turn it back on, it'll come back into that highest brightness of the flood mode. And then of course you can momentary it as well. One con that I do have with this light when it's in flood mode is that it won't tail stand. So it doesn't have a tail stand capability. You can see here that the clicky button protrudes out past the edge of the flashlight, so it won't balance on its tail. I would find that very helpful, especially when you're in this flood mode, for lighting up the area of a room, for example, if you could tail stand it. Now you can headstand it, which is kind of nice, and the light will still come out. So it still achieves pretty much the same purpose, but again, you're losing all that flood that you would gain if it could tail stand. So maybe future models of this light would have the ability to tail stand. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today, taking a look at the Eagletac P25LC2. It's a very capable light. You guys know I'm partial to Phoenix and Nikkor, but I certainly want to be able to review more lights from Eagletac. This is the first one that I've ever had my hands on, and it's quickly becoming one of my favorite lights, especially with that diffuser on the front. Like I said, this is a new light from them, and I wanted to check it out because it does have that pretty unique tip on it, and I find myself using this quite a bit more than any of my other lights, especially in the past few weeks. So this is certainly going to go up there as one of my favorite lights, and again, I hope to review more from Eagletac. The light does ship with the lanyard and a couple extra O-rings, as well as a pretty nice sheath. It's made with really heavy duty nylon, and then on the back it's also got a clip and Velcro for easily attaching it to your belt loop. I'm also, of course, going to throw a link below to Eagletac's website. It's eagletac.com, to where you can find out more about this light and all the other lights that they have to offer. I'm also going to put a link up in here to my Amazon store, where you can find this product on Amazon. I do always appreciate when you guys use my links in my videos to purchase your products when shopping on Amazon. It does help out the channel. Guys, I certainly appreciate it when you give my videos a big thumbs up. I also appreciate it when you share my videos to all your friends on social media, Google+, Twitter, and Facebook. If you haven't already joined me on Facebook or any of my other social media such as Instagram, Google+, all the links are below the description in any of my videos. You can just quickly click on those, give it a like. That would be awesome as well. Generally on Instagram and Facebook, I usually post pictures of products that I have coming in that I'm reviewing that I haven't necessarily done a video on. So if you guys want to get kind of an early look into, you know, what I have coming up, definitely go over to my Facebook or my Instagram and give it a follow or give it a like. As always, guys, I hope you click that red subscribe button and subscribe for